Hidden away in the forests of the Peak District lies a place that feels less like England and more like the set of a fantasy film. This is Lud's Church, a moss-covered chasm carved into the landscape hundreds of years ago. It's damp, it's dark, and honestly, it looks like Mother Nature got a little carried away building her own cathedral. But it's not just the scenery that makes this place fascinating. For centuries, Lud's Church has been the backdrop for legends, secret worship, and, depending on who you ask, possibly even the hiding spot for outlaws. Today, though, it's just me, the camera, and a lot of mud. So, let's step inside this green labyrinth and see what secrets Lud's Church is hiding. Over the years, Lud's Church has picked up its fair share of stories. Some say it was once used as a secret meeting place for banned religious groups. Others claim outlaws took shelter here, hiding in the shadows of the gorge. And then there's the legends tying it to Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, a medieval poem where knights, giants, and moral lessons all collide. But before we dive into the centuries of myth and moss, let's start with something a little more down to earth, like where you actually park the car and whether there's a cafe nearby to grab a much needed cup of tea before venturing into England's most suspicious damp crack in the ground. Now, in terms of logistics, Lud's Church isn't the sort of place you stumble across by accident. You'll need to park up at the Gradbach car park. It's the main starting point for the trail. From there, it's a short walk through the woodland before you even reach the entrance to the gorge. There isn't a ticket booth or a gift shop waiting for you at the gate. This is very much the wild Peak District experience. That said, just down the road, you've got the Gradbach Mill Cafe, where you can grab a hot drink or a snack just before or after the walk. And this is actually where we parked because we got there very early. And trust me, after wading through mossy boulders and damp passageways, that cup of tea is going to taste like the nectar of the gods. The walk to Lud's Church doesn't begin with a dramatic gorge or towering cliffs. It actually starts with something a little more modest, a narrow gap in the stone wall just by the cafe. It feels almost symbolic, like you're stepping through a doorway from everyday countryside stroll into something a little more mysterious. From there, the path winds through the woodland and quickly realise there's no chance of getting lost. The sheer number of signs pointing you towards Lud's Church is almost comical. At one point, I counted 3 in the space of about 30 seconds, as if they're determined you'll find it, whether you want to or not. But still, there's something exciting about following those arrows deeper into the trees, knowing that each step is bringing you closer to one of the Peak District's strangest secrets.
What's with all these narrow ones? The green sign that I've just shown on screen doesn't actually say Lud's Church, but just follow the sign for Dane Bridge, and then you'll come across this little, cross that, look. And then you'll see this, and then look at that, Lud's Church, up the hill. Of course it will be. It all started with a barbecue, a campfire, a cigarette, a glass bottle. Dun 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 dun. Don't be blamed for the flames. I bet they've got a long ancestry. Ha! Ha! Funny guy. Whoa. Found a sign. Lud's Church. This away.
About halfway along the walk, you really get a feel for the area. Towering trees, thick moss, and the classic Peak District damp that seeps into your boots no matter how waterproof they claim to be. It's peaceful though, the kind of place where you can imagine why stories and legends grew up around it. The landscape almost demands it.
We seem to have stumbled upon these things called rocks. And everywhere, look, has like these stone steps. So leads to Narnia, apparently. It's so hard. I'm wearing jeans. I can't move around anywhere. Partial view. Doesn't really lead anywhere. Bit of a letdown. But we are at the top of a tree. So that's quite cool. So when you get to Disappointment Pile, head up there, look, follow the yellow arrow. No bikes. No bikes. Here we go. Is this it? Well, it doesn't look like a lud, and it doesn't look like a church. And
here it is, Lud's Church, a 100-meter long mossy chasm with stone walls so straight they look almost man-made. But this isn't a quarry, as I keep saying in the video, but it's actually not. It's a natural landslide shaped centuries ago. Over time, it picked up legends from outlaw hideouts to inspiring the Green Chapel in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Whatever you believe, standing here feels like stepping into another world entirely.
what I will say is Sam's just made a fair point. Couple of things. It is very much like Puzzlewood Forest, if you haven't seen, very similar to this. The other thing as well is on social media, it doesn't look as big as this. Literally, we've just come in there somewhere, and it goes all the way from here, round here, up here, through that, and we've still got to get to the main valley, chamber, whatever it is. So it's pretty impressive. On social media, you just see like someone standing there going, "Lord's Church," whereas this, like, it's a lot bigger. So it is a bit of a surprise. My only advice is, don't do it in jeans, because I can't move. Big tip there. I'll do. And this is it. This is Lud's Church. Doesn't look like a Lud, and it doesn't look like a church. However, it's called Lud's Church. Look at this. Now, we think this was once like a quarry place. Obviously, where I acquired all the stone, but I'm going to research it. And it should be on screen now, or I should be doing a voiceover. One of the two, I don't know. Looks cool though. Look at it. It's a bit muddy, and don't do it in sketches and jeans, because it's not a great idea. But Definitely highly recommend coming here. It looks like a place where it'd be a great place for an ambush. Look at it. Ambush.
Lud's Church might look like the remains of an old quarry, but in reality it's completely natural. The gorge was formed centuries ago when a huge section of gridstone bedrock slipped, leaving behind this deep chasm that now runs for almost 100 meters, with walls towering up to 18 meters high. Because it's always shaded, the air in here is cool and damp, and the stone is draped in moss, ferns and dripping greenery. Even on a hot summer's day, Lud's Church feels like you've stepped into a different world entirely, more like something out of Lord of the Rings than the English countryside. Over the centuries, the gorge has collected its fair share of legends. In the 1400s, it's said to have been used as a secret meeting place by the Lollards, a banned religious group who held illegal services here, away from prying eyes. In fact, the name Lud's Church may come from Walter D. Ludank, a follower who was supposedly captured here. Others believed it was used as a hideout by outlaws, rebels, and even tied into the myths of Robin Hood and Friar Tuck. But perhaps the most famous connection is to the medieval poem Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Many scholars think Lud's Church was inspiration for the Green Chapel, the eerie place where Gawain finally confronts the mysterious Green Knight. When you stand here in the shadows with the moss dripping from the rock and the sound of water echoing off the stone, it's not hard to see why. The whole place feels like it was designed to fuel imagination, part natural wonder, part living legend.
I can't make sense of the steps though, that's the thing.
I'm sure this is in country.
More steps. Come on. Yeah, there's the other way.
Oh, that's cool.
And that just about wraps up Lud's Church. From legends of knights and outlaws to the simple fact it's one of the dampest yet most atmospheric spots in the Peak District. This place really does live up to the mysterious reputation. After squeezing back out of the gorge, the walk circles neatly back to the cafe, and honestly, there's no better way to finish than a hot drink and maybe a slice of cake to make up for all that mud. Final thoughts? Lud's Church isn't the biggest walk you'll ever do, but it's one of the most unique, part natural wonder, part living legend, and completely worth the trip. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts on Lud's Church, and subscribe for more adventures. We've got plenty more journeys coming up, and I'll see you in the next one.